August 12, 1985. It was a humid summer evening at Tokyo's Haneda Airport. The sun was beginning to set, casting a soft orange glow across the bustling tarmac. Japan Airlines Flight 1 was preparing for a routine domestic flight to Osaka. On board were 509 passengers and 15 crew members. Many were returning home from vacations, business trips, and family visits. There were children playing in the aisles, elderly couples flipping through magazines, and parents trying to calm toddlers for the short journey. The aircraft itself had flown many times before, but this evening would be its final voyage. Unknown to everyone aboard, a hidden flaw lurked in the plane's structural weakness created years earlier during a botched repair. In 1978, the aircraft had experienced a tail strike upon landing. Bowing mechanics had patched it, but the job was not up to standard. Instead of using a single continuous doubler plate, two separate ones had been used, significantly reducing the strength of the pressure ball. The oversight went undetected for 7 years. At 6:12 p.m., Flight 123 lifted off from runway 15L. Everything appeared normal. The pilot's captain, Masami Takahama, First Officer Yutuka Sasaki, and Flight Engineer Hiroshi Fukuda were experienced men, trusted by Japan Airlines and known for their professionalism. 12 minutes into the flight, at 6:24 p.m., at an altitude of 24,000 feet, a deafening explosion rocked the rear of the plane. The rear pressure bulkhead had failed catastrophically, causing an explosive decompression. The blast tore off the aircraft's vertical stabilizer, and all 4 hydraulic lines were severed. With the hydraulics gone, the pilots lost nearly all control of the aircraft. Chaos erupted inside the cabin. Oxygen masks dropped. Children screamed. Flight attendants scrambled to maintain order. One flight attendant, Yumi Ochiai, would later be hailed as a hero for her calmness and bravery. Passengers began writing farewell notes to loved ones on airsick bags, tray tables, and napkins. One man wrote, "I want my children to grow up kind and strong. Please tell them I love them." Despite the loss of hydraulics, the pilots did not give up. For the next 32 minutes, they fought to keep the plane aloft by using engine thrust to steer a nearly impossible task. The aircraft zigzagged through the skies above Japan, flying in a slow, uncontrollable descent. Air traffic controllers were aware that something was wrong but struggled to understand the full extent of the emergency. Military radar showed a large aircraft veering off course, but without clear communication from the cockpit, they couldn't provide effective help. Several fighter jets were scrambled, but they arrived too late. At 6:56 p.m., Flight 123 crashed into the remote forested mountainside of Mount Takamagara in Gunma Prefecture. The impact was catastrophic. The aircraft broke apart, and a massive fireball lit up the sky. Of the 524 people on board, 520 perished. Only 4 survived, all women seated in the rear section of the aircraft. As night fell over Mount Takamagara, rescue teams began mobilizing. However, due to confusion and poor coordination, it took over 12 hours for rescuers to reach the crash site. Some early reports mistakenly stated that there were no survivors, and the rough terrain made helicopter landings almost impossible. It wasn't until the following morning that the first rescue teams arrived on foot. Among the wreckage, the 4 survivors Zumi Ochiai, a flight attendant, and 3 passengers were found in a small section of the fuselage that had remained intact. They were injured, dehydrated, and in shock. Their survival was considered miraculous. Ochiai later recalled the harrowing hours she spent in the dark, surrounded by the dead, whispering prayers, and holding the hand of a young girl until help arrived. The scene of the crash was grim. Bodies were scattered among twisted metal and scorched trees. Personal items, photographs, toys, purses were strewn across the ground. The smell of jet fuel and burnt rubber lingered in the air for days. Many rescue workers, hardened by years of service, wept openly. The investigation that followed was one of the most thorough in aviation history. Black box recordings revealed the incredible efforts of the crew, particularly Captain Takahama, who remained composed and determined until the very end. He repeated, "Hang on everyone," over and over as he tried to stabilize the plane. The final report confirmed that the accident was caused by the improper repair of the aircraft's rear pressure bulkhead after the 1978 tail strike. The use of a flawed double plate system weakened the structure, leading to fatigue cracks. When the bulkhead failed, the explosive decompression led to the loss of the tail and hydraulic systems, making the aircraft uncontrollable. Japan Airlines took full responsibility. Boeing, too, faced scrutiny, though it was ultimately the improper repair technique, not the aircraft design, that was to blame. In response, the aviation industry globally re-evaluated inspection protocols, repair standards, and emergency procedures. Monuments were erected near the crash site, and August 12th became a day of remembrance in Japan. Every year, families of the victims climb the mountain to honor their loved ones. The tragedy remains deeply etched into the national memory. Perhaps the most enduring legacy of Flight 123 is the resilience of the human spirit. From the bravery of the crew to the written words of passengers facing certain death, the story of this doomed flight serves as both a cautionary tale and a testament to love, courage, and the will to survive.